What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome to the first episode of mini episode on football. I'm here with the guru, okay, the run and shoot guru, the guy who's coached everyone from Heisman Trophy winners, Hall of Fame athletes, and he's coached me because I'm his son. So we're here with the first episode of Ask Coach Jenks, and we got a lot to talk about. What's going on, Dad? How you doing, bud?
All right, coming to you from sunny California out here at Venice Beach. Got a
I
big
can tell.
got a big tryout camp going out here tomorrow, and always anxious to get back out here where my people are out here at Venice Beach. My people.
Looks like you just got done working out.
Yeah, I did. I just came out of Gold's Gym down the street, and
Yeah.
I'm rattling around. I'm back. Like I said, I'm back here in my element.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, hey, we got a lot to talk about. We'll try to be as brief as we can, because I know you're busy, but let's talk about the Jackson State big five-star signing.
Yeah,
And I wanted to hear your thoughts about it because in all actuality, I think that's awesome. I think Dion Sanders is going to change the game. I don't know what they call it now. Whenever I was in high school, they called it D1 AA. I think they
yeah,
call it something different now, but it's not D1,
right.
So these kids, for these five-star athletes, they're not going to Alabama, they're not going to Georgia, they're willing to go to somewhere like Jackson State. So what are your thoughts on it, and how does this
Yeah,
change
it's
up the game of
actually.
football?
Let me say this: that this is a real exception here, and I think Florida State probably got the blunt end of this by not realizing what they were doing. I'm sure because Dion played at Florida State, they were selling the fact you come here. They're telling this young man, you come here. Hey, this is what we do. We produce top players. We had Dion Sanders here, one of the best of all time as a corner and a return artist in the NFL. And yeah, Dion Sanders. Well, all of a sudden, this young man says, "Hey, you know what? I could go if Dion's so important. I could go get coached by Dion at Jackson." And let's just say with this transfer portal that's becoming the rage nowadays, what's to say that he gets him a couple of seasons under his belt with good coaching from Dion, personalized, and then he takes off somewhere like who knows, Alabama, Florida, you know, Notre Dame, wherever he wants to go. If again, you know what though, this thing about 5 star scares me to death because I hope this young man has got a level head on him because that kind of accolade doesn't really mesh. It doesn't work out. Guys that get that tag on them many times they never turn out to be a player worth a dang. You can go
Yeah,
back. I tell you what, you can go back. This is interesting. Back when I think Atlanta and the Patriots were in the Super Bowl a few years ago, I did a study on this, dating going all but on both rosters, both teams, and you know what those rosters were loaded with? 3 star players, 3 star, no stars, guys that proved themselves, that worked their butt off, and became good players. Uh, Julio Jones with Atlanta was the only 5 star receiver. He was the only 5 star player on either unit in that Super Bowl. How about that for you?
it's crazy. Yeah, I think the average person wouldn't understand that. Obviously, me and you've talked about that a lot about the five-star, and I think it's exciting because like when you're in high school and you see that I'm a 3 star and someone else is a 5 star or maybe it's a 4 star, like they just think these 5 stars are automatically going to be successful in the future, but it really is how hard you want to work out and how dedicated you're going to be in college. So I think the
Absolutely.
average person doesn't necessarily understand that. We're seeing it with Alabama, Dad. Me and you have connected with several guys
Yeah.
that have been 5 stars that the NFL has cut, that they sent to us to train, to develop, to get back, and they were like 5 stars in high school. And it was something in college going from the man of high school to Alabama and being a scout team guy. I had a big ego in high school where I was all state, and then whenever I went to go play college ball, it crushed my ego, and I was like pretty much wanting to quit. I can only imagine being like all nation like all these other guys or a 5-star like all these other guys, So I kind of agree with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? That's the great thing about what football teaches us, and what all kinds of sports teaches us, and that is this: you've got to come out and declare yourself every time out, buddy. You gotta redeclare yourself. Hey, you win a big game, on Saturday or Sunday. Hey, they're gunning for you next week. You got to go do it
Yeah.
again. You got to go do it again. You can't be strutting around like the cock of the walk all week long and say, "Oh, hey, they're going to lay down in front of us now." You're going to get knocked off. And then what do? We teach this. We bounce back. You bounce back. That's what you do in life. That's what again, what football teaches us.
Yeah. So let's talk about our boy Dion Sanders, man. He's doing a great job at Jackson State. A lot of people have tried to coach at Jackson State, and they have not been successful. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're like 11-1 if they haven't already won the conference or something like that.
Yeah,
Like you think,
yeah, they've had a real rare season. And the crazy thing about it, it's a lot of the NFL scouts have just quit going to a lot of the SWAC colleges. What Lloyd Wells and Don Klosterman and some of those great scouts from the 1960s. Hey, they used to make a living, going to Grambling and Alcorn State, Jackson State. Guys like Robert Brazil and Walter Payton came out of there, and some of the scouts have just quit going there now. And
why?
Jackson State, well, I think the facility factor. I think the facility factor has shown us that players are now they're going to go for the attractions. They're going to go for the big time attractions. That the great weight rooms and the great facilities and the Power Five, let's call it. Really, and you want to say, hey, what about the Power One, the SEC? Let's not kid ourselves, buddy. That is NFL, junior varsity right there. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand like the theory of like 5-star, but like the game is kind of changing where maybe some guys are wanting to go to a Jackson State, so maybe that will change in the future. And like this one guy, I mean, he actually is a good athlete. I forgot his name. They rank him a 5-star, but he's really really good, especially at DB. They need help. Most of those athletes they play like receiver, running back. They generally don't go for a DB. So if you find a real talented DB, kind of like my boy Greedy that I
Great, great
coach.
that you coached over in Louisiana. I tell you, again, those are top notch, rare commodities. Quite often, the old principle used to be: if you can't catch a ball, if you're having trouble catching the football, we'll move you to the secondary. You can be a defensive back. Nowadays, hey, it's all about foot skills. Khalil Carter, one of the great young coaches in the game. Boy, he would be real irritable talking about guys. Just move the receiver to DB, or move a running back, move him to strong safety. There's coaching now that takes place, and again, this young man that's going to Jackson State, he's going to count if he does end up signing there. Let's say Florida State may have the last laugh on this. We'll see. But if he goes there, he's going to count on Dion to teach him things that will really elevate his game, and so he can be at the top of the game in a short period of time. We'll
Yeah,
see. Find out. That's the fun part of it.
yeah. His name's Travis Hunter. He actually did sign with Jackson State. He was ranked number 2 overall player in the class of 2022. So he graduated early and he went to Jackson State. And there's
How
also
about that?
rumors about
How about
yeah.
that?
So there's also rumors about 2 or 3 other people considering decommitting from Georgia or LSU and all these places to go to Jackson State. And honestly, it's as easy as like them going to play for Dion maybe a year or two until either Dion goes to a Florida State or
Yeah.
Dion goes to another, maybe not, Georgia, but it could be Georgia Tech, something like that. And the
Right.
transfer portal makes it even more easier. So let's talk about Dion. Why do you think he hasn't got picked up already? He had 10-1, maybe 11-1 record. I think they won their conference. Almost an undefeated season. Why hasn't a North Texas or a Louisiana Lafayette or Arkansas State or something picked him up as their coach?
Yeah, I think he's just now making a mark for himself. This was his first big season. I think a year ago, his entry season, they had a tough time just laying the foundation, which most coaches do. That's why when you go into a place, generally the reason it's open, reason the job's open is because there's problems. He had to sort through a bunch of problems first year, and certainly the pandemic, and that took care of a lot. And now he came out with this breakout season, and the fact that he just finished a playing career some while back, and he's had a lengthy, stellar career in the NFL, Hall of Famer, and now he's making a name for himself. I think if he works hard and continues to have some success, then great things will come his way in the coaching profession as well.
Yeah. So let's shift the topic to Urban Meyer. Talk about a guy that needed more time.
Yeah,
Only a handful of people got fired quicker than this guy. So what's the deal? Like, why didn't they give him more time?
I'll say this. I think it's happening all over, not just the NFL, but in major college football. And I say major college. I'm talking about the big money that exists now. We're looking at the powers to be that are calling the shots. They want the return on their investment right now. They don't want to hear anything about, hey, I've got a 5-year plan or we're rebuilding. You know what their thought is? Hey, go get you a transfer quarterback. Go jump into that transfer portal and go get you a guy to come here and win right now. Because again, with the money that exists, and there is a lot of impatience. Certainly, the social media and just the general media, they're calling for guys' heads every day. And you lose, hey buddy, they don't put up losing now. This again. Yeah. I can remember years ago when John McKay, who had a great career at Southern Cal, went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He didn't win a game for 2 years, and his 5th year, I think they made the playoffs, and he kind of chuckled and laughed and made humor of that. But I tell you, that doesn't exist anymore. You don't win right now. And in Urban's case, he's a great coach everywhere he's been, everywhere he's been. And there's no doubt in my mind that had he had more time at Jacksonville, he would have probably turned that around. But again, you don't win right now, they'll pink slip you. A pink slip will come sliding right under that door, right in front of you, and you're out the door. Hey, look at Ed Orgeron. He's a Cajun down there in South Louisiana. He's one of their guys, and he wins a national title. And a year and a half later, he's out the door. Are you kidding me? That's what's going on nowadays. That's the temperament all around the country in NFL and major college football.
Yeah, I think media obviously plays a big role in it. The media was not in his favor. There were allegations of him cheating on his wife, which became a distraction. It seemed like before that and after that, it was like, a lot of people didn't respect him in the locker room. Allegedly, it was almost like every other week there was a story about how he's losing the confidence, and it's just the media. The whole media thing is just screwing people over, because people like me, like I know Les Miles, Nick Saban, we know a lot of these guys, and it's like a lot of times the media have just over exaggerated stories that obviously behind the scenes that. Well, maybe not Nick Saban's case, but everyone else's case,
Again, we're talking about Urban Meyer going down before the tail end of his very first season. Now, you know what? I remember Nick Saban talking about his first entry right there at Alabama. He got beat by Louisiana Monroe. He lost to Louisiana Monroe his first season. Hey, what if that same kind of attitude had existed back then that's going around now? Hey, what's to say that the impatience factor, it just continues to grow, just like Dan Mullen over at Florida. he's a heck of a coach. He did a heck of a job everywhere he's been. Everywhere he's been a great
Yeah.
teacher of quarterbacks. Did a great job at Mississippi State, and uh, played for the conference championship in Florida. Very next season, this year, they go down. I don't know if it was a rebuilding year. Might have had some injuries, but they pink slip him. It's horrible. I think it's too bad.
Yeah. So 2000, according to the internet, 2007 was Alabama's first year with Nick Saban. He went 7-6,
Yeah,
and he only went to the Independence Bowl.
yeah. You know what?
Can you believe it?
In a lot of cases, there were probably some guys calling for his head that season, saying, "No, this ain't what we're buying into here," you know. But that's again, that job was open, and they've had some of their moments. I can remember back when Jackie Sherrill was at Mississippi State, they were beating Alabama about three times in a row back in the '90s, and other teams were handing it to Alabama at the time, where they were sitting there going 3-8, whatever. But boy, don't kid yourself right now. Nick Saban's he's got it going on, buddy. He's got an NFL
Yeah.
machine rolling right there at Alabama. He sure does.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's not your first year, it's funny because like my buddy Mac Brown, I was with him the week he got fired at Texas, and you know what? Like it was almost like grass is greener on the other side. Let's go ahead and let this guy go. He's doing, a poor job in their perspective. And since they let Matt go, it's almost like been every other year they're going, you know, 6-6 for the year or something crazy. Like the Texas cannot ever come back to being Texas.
No, I tell
So
you what, it's a
trip.
shame. That's a shame. It really is. I don't think. Again, some of the things that exist now, like I said, it's all about the element of patience and lack of patience, and the alumni base and fans, they want the return on their investment. Simple as that.
Yeah. Hey, trivia question real quick, and then we'll try to close out. There's three other coaches in the NFL that got fired faster than Urban Meyer. Do you know who they would be? Oh, we lost them. I guess there's cons and pros of being on the beach in LA. The good is that the whole country is wearing pants, and if you're on a beach in LA, you can wear shorts. But the problem is you probably get your phone overheated. But hey, thank you guys for watching. It was fun. We'll try to do this another time. We'll try to keep talking about trendy topics. Make sure you guys subscribe. We talk about everything from sports on this particular podcast, but on other podcasts we do, it's going to be entrepreneurship. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys.